Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Wright, and today we'll be exploring some of the key developmental theories that are relevant to our work with children and youth. Understanding these theories is crucial because they provide a foundation for how we approach the developmental needs of the individuals we serve. However, it's important to remember that development doesn't happen in a vacuum. Children and youth grow up with specific cultural contexts that shape their experiences, values, and behaviors. As social workers, we need to consider these cultural influences when applying developmental theories to our practice. Let's start with an overview of some foundational developmental theories. First, we have Piaget, cognitive development theory, which outlines how children think and understand the world at different stages of their life. According to Piaget, children move through 4 stages: sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. Each stage represents a different way of thinking and learning. Next, there's Erikson's psychosocial developmental theory, which focuses on the social and emotional development of the individual across 8 stages, from infancy to late adulthood. Each stage presents a unique challenge or crisis that needs to be resolved for healthy development. For example, during adolescence, the key challenge is identity versus role confusion, where young people explore their personal identity and sense of self. Finally, we have Vygotsky, social cultural theory, which emphasizes the role of social interaction and cultural context in development. Vygotsky introduced the concept of the zone of proximal developmental, which describes the gap between what a child can do independently and what they can achieve with guidance. While these theories provide valuable insight, it's crucial to remember that they are with development with specific cultural contexts, such as we must be mindful of how culture influences development and how these theories might be applied differently across diverse settings. Now, let's critically examine these theories, particularly in relation to diverse populations. One of the main critiques of traditional development theories is that they often reflect the experiences and values of the culture in which they were developed, typically Western individualist societies. This can limit their applicability to children and youth from other cultural backgrounds. For instance, Piaget's stages of cognitive development might not fully capture the ways in which children from collectivism cultures learn and process information. Similarly, Erikson's emphasis on individual identity formation may not resonate as strongly in cultures where group identity and family ties are more central. As social workers, it's essential to think about how these theories might need to be adapted or expanded to fit the cultural context of the families and communities we serve. This could mean integrating other cultural perspectives on development or being open to alternative ways of understanding growth and change. So, how can we apply these developmental theories in our practice while being culturally responsive? One approach is to use these theories as a starting point, but then adapt them based on the cultural context of the child or youth you're working with. For example, if you're assessing a child's cognitive development, consider how cultural factors like language, education, and family practices might influence their development. Let's say you're working with a child from a multilingual household. In this case, Piaget stages might not fully reflect the child's cognitive abilities, especially if they're processing information in more than one language. You might need to adjust your assessment methods to take this into account. Another example could be when applying Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. In a culture that values interdependence and collective identity, the focus might not be on individual identity, but rather the child's role within the family or community. Recognizing this, you can shift your approach to support the child's development in a way that aligns with their cultural values. Here are a few tips for assessing development with cultural sensitivity. Always start by understanding the cultural background of the child and their family. Use culturally appropriate assessment tools and methods. Involve the family in the assessment process to gain a fuller picture of the child's development. Be open to different interpretations of developmental milestones and avoid making assumptions based solely on your own cultural framework. In summary, developmental theories like those posed by Piaget, Erikson, and Vygotsky often offer a valuable framework for understanding the growth and development of children and youth. However, it's vital that we apply these theories with an awareness of cultural context, adapting them as needed to be more inclusive of diverse experiences. As you move forward in your practice, I encourage you to reflect on how you can integrate developmental theories with a cultural informed approach. How will you ensure that your assessments and interventions are responsive to the cultural needs of the children and youth you work with? Thank you for your commitment to learning and for your dedication to cultural competent social work practice.